Did you just start a new farm on Farming Simulator 25? Well, don't worry, Drakage 2000 D2K Simulators is here to guide you through what to do next. We started here on the Riverbend map, and what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick look here at our settings so that you can set your settings up similar as well. Okay, so we got autosave interval. You can change that to whatever suits your whatever floats your goat there. Time scale, I have it at 0.50 so that things aren't moving that quickly for us real quick here. Economy difficulty, I usually leave this at normal, but you can set that to hard if you are a pro gamer, or you can set it to easy if you just want an easy time. Normal, the difference between normal and easy is pretty negligible, so I usually leave it at normal. I like seasonal growth because the seasons matter. I usually like 1 day per month in the beginning because you're going to be skipping a lot of time, but later when you have a lot to do, I usually set that back up to 4 days. And then fixed visual month, what that does is that just makes it so that it will always be March or April or May or whatever. You can set that as you need. Snow, I leave that on. I leave crop destruction on. Periodic plowing on. Field stones on. Limestone required on. Weeds on. Disaster destruction enabled. We like to play things on the hardcore mode here on the Drakage 2000 show. Automatic engine start, I leave that on. There's no sense in me turning things on or off, but I do turn that off for certain situations, and maybe we'll get into that at a later date. Trailer fill limit, I leave that off. What that does is it makes it so that your trailers can only be filled with the exact weight as opposed to the exact volume of things. So things like potatoes, for example, will weigh more than wheat, for example. And so I leave that off just to keep everything normal. The AI workers. So we use a lot of AI workers. I leave all of this stuff as off, because otherwise they're going to be spending your money left, right, and sideways, and we don't want that. Okay, first things first. Here we started on the Riverbend farms. We started with the starter farm. We have $100,000 in our bank account, and we have a couple fields ready to go. So we have this canola harvest ready to go. We've got an empty field here on field number 4. And it says it needs lime and it needs plowing. Then you come over here and we've got our wheat ready to be harvested as well, and I'm gonna put in a little jump cut right here. Okay, and all the way over here we have a freshly harvested large field number 2, the barley field, or what used to be a barley field. These fields need a lot of maintenance to do, so let's dive right into that and we'll get rocking and rolling. All right, so first things first, what you should do is get your harvester out of the little garage here. Go ahead and you can press your Q key here to let go of the trailer. Push X on the keyboard to be able to open up the harvester. You can always push F1 and all of these keys will be available to you up there in the top left. Then what we're gonna want to do, go up to the header there and go ahead and pick that up. Now we have a lot of stuff to do, so we're gonna set this guy up on his own. So the first things first, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and set him up over here. We'll hold H, and now we've brought up the AI settings thing here. Okay, so we can set the working width. We can change the number of headlands. 2 should be fine. And we're gonna do work the headlands on, and we're gonna do start with the headlands. But you can change that as you want. You can also do steering assist, which allows you to do it yourself with the GPS. Check out my tutorial video on that. You can see that up here in the top right hand corner. I'll put in a little card right there for you to be able to go to that video. All right, once you have your desired setup, press H and away he goes. we'll go ahead and get out of the combine right there, and he'll get to work. So the reason why I put a worker on that is so that they can, you know, they can handle that while we get a lot of the other work done. So go ahead and push tab to be able to get into other tractors. Right here we started with the Challenger tractor. We're gonna drop the cultivator and pull out just a little bit there. There's a couple things that we're going to need to buy in order to do some of the field maintenance that we need. We need, for example, we're gonna need a plow. I don't like these small baby plows. They suck and they take forever, but we're gonna need one, so we're gonna go ahead and buy one. All right, the other thing I would recommend is getting a weight. I personally would recommend getting like one of the John Deere weights, even though like the or any of the weights that you see that has a trailer hitch attachment. For example, this fence does not have one. So you want one that has, especially here in the beginning of the game, you want one that has a little trailer hitch part here so that you can use the weight while getting your trailers moved around. So I like stuff like this one, so we'll grab this one. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the next thing that you're going to need is a fertilizer spreader / lime spreader. I personally love this Brettle. This thing is awesome. I also go ahead and shove out the extra money for the spreader discs because you're gonna need those. I also like getting the extension. Now this is going to be one of the most expensive purchases that we're going to make, but it's going to future proof the farm, so we'll go ahead and buy this. Now you can buy it without some of these bonuses, right? But you're gonna need it. So I recommend go ahead and shove out, you know, get that total price going right away. $55,000. It's gonna be a little bit of a brutal purchase, but we need it. Okay, last on our list here in the beginning is a weeder. We're gonna need this in order to get our fields weeded after we've planted them. All right, here in the beginning of the game with the Riverbend map, you start with a John Deere 3650, one of my favorite small tractors. Go ahead and check out the small tractor review video right here so that you can see how I rated all of the different small tractors. And you also start with a Challenger over here. I forget the actual name. Challenger MT635. I haven't done a review on like medium tractors and stuff yet. Now you can go ahead. This method spends a lot of money in the beginning, right? If you don't want to spend a lot of money in the beginning, don't worry, you don't have to. But one of the things you can do right here is you're just one individual on your own, but you need to get these two tractors off to the the shop in order to buy or to pick up the different implements that we just bought, right? So one quick way that you can do that is you can actually tell the AI to drive over there themselves. So we can take our John Deere 3650 and we can do set destination and we can say go here, right? So then she's gonna get into that tractor and she's gonna drive off. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I went ahead and put a cut in right there as we headed back to the store to pick up some of our implements. As you see, we have our John Deere 3650 right over here, ready to go. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna get this thing set up. We're gonna pick up our weight over here, and just like that. And we will grab the weeder with this guy. All right. So next, we can go ahead and tell our worker to take that back just like we did before. So go ahead and click on that, do set destination, and we'll tell them to bring it like right over, like right here. Yeah, there, doesn't matter. And they'll be off driving there, and I will drive the plow over there. I'll put in a jump cut right here. All right, welcome back. So what we're doing here is we're still harvesting. Our harvester's getting a little bit full, but whoever took care of this field before us did not do all of the field maintenance that needs to be done. As you can see here in the bottom right hand corner of your screen, it says that our canola is ready to harvest and we only have a yield bonus of 22%. That's pretty sad and pathetic. So what we need to do is we need to take care of our fields in order to maximize our profits and maximize our yield on that. We'll deal with those cows here in a little bit. All right, so we need to get this field all set up and prepped in order to plant our next crop. First thing that we're going to need to do, according to the field itself, is, as you can see here in the bottom right hand corner, this field needs lime and it needs plowing. So the first thing that we're going to do is use the plow that we just bought. We're going to come over here to the field and we're going to hold the H key and come here to the steering assist. We're going to set everything up as auto, number of headlands. I personally set it to 2. You can set it to however many you like. Working direction automatic, show the lines on initially at least. And then what you're going to do again is you're going to press H to confirm the line after you've lined up to it. And it's going to look a little funky. It's going to look a little bit off center. And that's because your plow is off here to the side of your tractor a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and pull forward just a little bit. We don't want to eat up any of that lovely wheat back there. Press V to lower your implement, and then we'll go ahead and drive. Now I've also set it up so that I have a button to hide those GPS lines just to make a better video. I set that up to Alt H. It's steering assist visual lines, and it's a setting that you'll have to do inside of your settings. Okay, well, you don't need to watch me plow this whole field. So we'll be back here after this jump cut, and I'm going to go ahead and finish doing this. Unfortunately, the AI will not do this particular field because it's not, like, the game thinks that this field is plowed, but since it's a fresh start of a game, it's not actually plowed. So we need to go do this ourselves. I'll bring you right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. I still have a lot more maintenance to do over on field number 4, but we're gonna go ahead and get started here on field number 5. We'll just go ahead and hire a worker right there to get going because plowing takes forever. You're welcome to do it yourself if you want. But the other thing is our particular harvester over here is ready for us to empty the hopper. I don't know, what do you call it? But anyway, it's ready to be empty, and so we're gonna drive it over here to our silo. And I recommend doing this, and at least initially with these small harvests, instead of getting your grain car, because there is such a small amount of grain that we don't really need to go put it into a car and then drive it over to the silo and then dump it, right? And in order to put the boom out, you'll press your O key. Again, you can see all of your keys if you press F1. They'll be up there in the top left hand corner of your screen. Okay, once you've emptied out your harvester, you're ready to set up on the next field. Go ahead and drive it over to the next field. And again, I hire another worker to do this because there's a lot of stuff that we need to get done here in the beginning. As you see, this field still needs plowing, it still needs lime. We're gonna be working on that. I have an idea on like how to do this a little bit faster, because our plow is busy over there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna come over here and grab the John Deere 3650, and we don't quite need our weeder just yet. As such, we're gonna go ahead and put that away, and we'll just drop it right here for now. And again, you can press Q to detach it. Now, the other thing is too, right? Here on the tractor, we've got up here in the top left-hand corner, I'll put in a little zoom here so you can see, but up here in the top left-hand corner, we've got our different implements, right? In this case, with the John Deere 3650, we have both a front weight and the weeder attached to it. If you push your G key, you can toggle between the front or the back. So we need to drop off our weeder here, and so we need to switch over to do that that way, because if we have just the front weight attached and we drop the front weight, that won't serve the purposes of us putting our weeder away. All right, next thing you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to come over here and grab your cultivator out of the barn. I usually grab it here with the John Deere 3650. It's the perfect tractor for that purpose. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set it up to cultivate field number 4, and I'm gonna hire another worker on there. Now, you don't have to hire this many workers. I'm just hiring all of these workers to be able to work this field for the purposes of this video, right? As you can see, I've got 3 workers working our fields right now. It's kind of an expensive way to do this, because you're going to want to do this all by yourself as well, a lot of this on your own, but it is handy to have the workers set up and doing different jobs. The reason why we're cultivating field number 4 right now is to reset the field's status in order to plow the field, because you'll see that it is still going to need plowing as I walk over this particular section. As you see right here in the freshly cultivated section, it still needs plowing, which is unfortunate, but that's just the way it is. This field, for whatever reason, looks plowed but is not actually plowed. Okay, so while our workers are busy, we can actually go in and check the prices of our crops that we are actively harvesting. So one of the things that you noticed is over here on the field, we can change this over to the different types. Now I filter out these other types by just left clicking on them. So corn, for example, I can't harvest corn, so there's no need for me to look at the corn fields, right? So I filter those out by just left clicking on them, because until you have the special header, you won't be able to harvest them. So may as well just not look at them for the purposes of like running contracts and stuff. But as you can see, we have 5,495 liters of canola. For example, for every 1,000 liters of canola that you sell, you would get $1,038 if you were to sell it to the grain barge terminal number 1. Now, what I recommend doing though is waiting until the peak price. As you can see, right now is harvest season for canola, so the price is dropped because everybody is selling it. It's readily available, but in December it's going to peak at $13.13, which is not that far off from the current price here at the grain barge terminal. But if we wait, we should be able to get $300 more per 1,000 liters, and we only have 5,000 liters, so we want to maximize our profits as much as possible. So we'll wait until December to sell. Okay, so next up is we are spending quite a bit of money as our workers are working these fields. I recommend having a bank balance of about $20,000 in your bank account at any given time, so that you can do things like this and have these workers out here working the fields. Again, this is not like the most ideal situation, because you should be doing some of this work yourself in order to save some money here in the beginning. But since this is just a YouTube tutorial video, I'm trying to do a lot all at once. Hey, you're a busy farmer, right? And you just took a contract where you leased out this lovely tractor with a hoeing job, but you don't want to do the job yourself. Well, check this out. You can come here to the map. You can click on your tractor that you're sitting in right now. You can do create a job, choose field work, and then come right over here to field 77, where your job is, or wherever your job is located. Choose a starting location for them and hit start job. And then boom, your guy goes off and does it on his own. And bam, just like magic, your AI worker shows up to the field ready to work on their own. Heck, you don't have time for this. Ain't nobody got time for that. All right, next on the topic of contracts, the few contracts that I recommend you do not do are the spraying contracts or any of the fertilizing contracts. These contracts will usually end up costing you more money than they're worth. And I do not suggest doing them. Now, one of the things that you see here as our AI worker is busily plowing this field and getting ready is that you see these stones popping up everywhere. Now, the way to get rid of these stones, you can come in here and buy the stone picker, which there's only one of them. It's $56,000. Again, it's outside of our price range, but we can lease it for $2,856, which we'll do in order to pick these stones up. Now, the thing about these stones, the small stones and the large ones will damage your equipment as you drive over them with like your seeder and so forth like that. So you want to get rid of these as soon as possible. A lot of people tend to turn these off because they don't find this mechanic fun. I leave them on because when I play simulator games, I want the realism. All right. So now we've just finished harvesting our fields, and our combine here is pretty dang dirty. Now, this should be okay to leave it this way for a little bit of time. However, in Farming Simulator 25, the dirt on your equipment actually hurts the maintenance time on it a little bit more than it has in previous games, and I don't remember it actually doing anything like that before. But what you're going to do is you're going to press P to come to your purchase menu, come down here to the bottom, then go to construction, come here to the top, go with your arrows over to tools, and then buy the power washer, right? And so we'll just buy that, put that right over there. And then the other thing is that's really cool here in Farming Simulator 25 is this is now interactable and we can move it around. Like, that's so cool. We can actually come over here and move it around. We haven't been able to do that in any of the previous Farming Simulator games before, so I think that's really cool. You'll press your R key once you have it in place to get the wash wand out, and then left click and you'll be able to start washing your equipment off. Now, one of the things I personally like to do to see if my equipment is actually clean, I like to try to get the camera angle just right so that you can see the grime on the window, and as you wash it away, then the grime goes away and you're able to tell, like, okay, that is actually clean now. I personally like that a little bit better than looking at the dirt, because if you look at the dirt will get cleaned off before the implement is actually fully clean. And so I don't really like that, and I like to do it that way instead. I look at the window for the grime. All right, now that that's done, we can actually complete our contract, because that just got done as well. And all we got to do is hit collect, and boom, we got another $8,000, and we're back up to 20,000 US dollars. Now, personally, with this power washer, I like to put it over here next to the barn, because you want to kind of keep it slightly out of the way while still being in the path. But now that this is movable and collidable, the last thing you want to do is run into it accidentally, because it's gonna fly everywhere. I experienced this myself, and then you won't be able to do anything with it, and you'll have to reset it back to the shop, and then you'll have to manually either walk it back here or put it on a trailer and bring it back over here. All right, so one cool thing about the rock picker is that it will also apply a cultivated field state to the field that we'll be able to utilize after we've plowed our fields and so forth. So we're gonna go ahead and go over here, and we're gonna pick up our rock picker, and I will bring you right back. Now, the cool thing about the stone picker too, right, is not only is it going to apply a cultivated, as soon as she starts working, not only is it gonna apply a cultivated field state to the field, but we'll actually be able to sell those stones to the concrete mixer directly after that. So as you see, it's putting down a funky dory little cultivated state, but it's still a type of cultivation state that it does put down, which I'll show you here in just a few minutes what that looks like on the map, because as you can see right now, if we go to the map and we go to this one, you'll see that it is actively putting down a cultivated field section down on that field. So pretty cool, right? Okay, so these other jobs like the Deadwood contract are pretty decent. Like we can make 900 bucks pretty quickly and easily. You don't really have to borrow the equipment here. It says that you can sell the dead wood after you're done chopping it down. It's not worth anything though. It's you'll probably get like 500 bucks off of it. So it's really not worth it. These rock removal jobs, they're pretty good, but the skid steer is extremely slow. So until you have like a trailer to pull this around, if speed is your game, then I would avoid these kind of contracts as well here in the beginning. But like I said before, go ahead and definitely avoid the spraying jobs and the fertilizing jobs, because these ones are they're pretty expensive, because you have to buy the fertilizer for them, or the herbicide for them as well, which eats into your profits. Now let me know in the comment section below, but I'm unsure of this. I haven't tested this just yet, but I'm wondering if you buy the fertilizer or the whatchamacallit, the herbicide after the fact, like after you take the contract. I'm wondering if you buy them after you take the contract, if that's how you get the reimbursement for it. Because what happened the last time I did one of those, I had the fertilizer already and I used my own fertilizer, and that it destroyed my profits because they didn't pay me back for the fertilizer that I used. So I'm wondering if that's the case. Now this hoeing job just popped up while I was talking about that, and this one would not be worth us doing, because as you can see, we can lease this equipment for $779, but the contract is only for $761. So we'd actually lose money on this one if we did that. All right, thank you so much for watching part 1 of my newbie tutorial video here for Farming Simulator 2025. I hope that you enjoyed that video. Stay tuned for part 2. Go ahead and hit that like, comment, and subscribe buttons, and we'll get part 2 out here probably tomorrow. I already have it filmed. It's just this video was getting a little bit long, so I wanted to go ahead and
and make it a 2-parter instead of a 1-parter. Anyway, thank you so much for watching and making it to the end.